Are you looking for greatest love stories in gaming? This video for you. Before we get going, show your perception for the majestic by subscribing to our channel. Similar to many other video game love stories, the story of Prince and Alika's romance isn't exactly a new tale. Both start off an uneasy alliance which continues to develop throughout the game, as they help each other out of tough spots, mainly Alika helping Prince not die during combat or failed traversal. The game's ending might have left some players dissatisfied, but hey, all is fair in love and war, especially when it is love between a beggar prince and a mage girl. The Final Fantasy series, despite its teen rating, has pretty much always had a love story at its core, mostly between two of the biggest characters. The love stories can sometimes feel a bit too mushy in these games, and the one between Tidus and Aina is no different. However, the way it is developed throughout the game in stages, and peeled off like an onion, does leave one crying by the time the game ends. It might not be the best or the most believable love stories in video games, but it is certainly something to talk about. Another classic case of will they won't they. This love story can be a bit weird sometimes, especially considering the horror setting of the Resident Evil franchise, and the fact that Ada's character can't really be trusted. However, like bees to honey, after all these games and hints that Ada and Leon aren't meant to be together, Leon keeps falling for her. Such lost puppy moments alone are enough to include this relationship in the list. JRPGs typically have long runtimes, which is exactly why this relationship is considered by many as one of the most developed love stories in gaming. Just like numerous other love stories in gaming, anime, or movies, the characters aren't too fond of each other at the beginning, but as the game progresses, and they get to know each other better, sparks definitely fly. Both stay by each other's sides through the game, supporting each other at their best and their worst, making them a pretty ideal couple. The definition of messed up and forbidden, yet a touching and great love story. This is the love story between a soldier who doesn't really feel emotions and a nutty, both tasked with the protection of humanity. Throughout the first 4 games, their relationship continues to develop from allies to friends, and then something more, both willing to sacrifice their life so the other can survive. By the time the credits on Halo 5 start rolling, many might consider this a way more developed and interesting love story between a human and a nutty when compared to the movie Her. That fact is actually further hammered in by the emotional ending of Halo 4. This game was released on SNES back in the early 90s, but the love story between the two characters is just as timeless as love itself. Another love story between a lowly adventurer who stumbles upon a beautiful princess who is initially a bit reserved, but as the game progresses, their relationship blooms into one of the finest love stories we have ever seen. The ending of the game is yet another beautiful moment that further stamps their love story as great due to their sacrifice. One of the finest YX exclusives, the last story is an epic tale of romance, beautifully crafted, and possibly trumps every JRPG love story thanks to the brilliant chemistry between the two characters, and by the time the game ends, their story is really tugging at players' heartstrings. Okay, bear with us on this, as this might be the most controversial love story on this list. A being of pure darkness falling in love with a butterfly, which everyone would agree is one of the most beautiful things on the planet. Filled with romance, betrayal, rejection, and against overwhelming odds, the love story between these two feels like the creators were really in love with Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, complete with a beautiful and bittersweet ending.